Ooh, ooh.
I really like the one with the spider.
I try not to look at the spider. I focus on the pumpkin.
The puppy?
The pumpkin,
Oh,
yes.
the pumpkin. I thought you said a puppy. I thought, where's a puppy in that?
Now you're going to have to rewatch it just for the puppy.
Hi, Pam.
Hi.
Speaking of puppies, there's one right there.
Yeah, there's a few of them running around here.
Yeah.
And I got a cat that's beating down the door.
And then I've got a cat right there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it. Yep.
That's Daisy.
That's Daisy. Yeah, Daisy's local.
Yes.
And I do not have a cat in here, not yet at least. So, says Annie's audio is a bit weird.
It weird?
Sounds fine to me, but that's the comment that came in. So there we go.
Huh.
Interesting.
How weird is it?
It's so weird. Oh, sorry. You set it up.
I know.
So tonight we got an interesting show. Now, the first part we're going to talk about what Miss Annie went on travel for, to look into a mysterious creature.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, that's right. You weren't here during that week either. Well, when given the description per eyewitnesses' accounts, this is what they got.
It's called the Dover Demon.
Da-da-da.
To me, it looks like Mr. Potato Head.
That's what I was going to say, or a frog.
Mr. Potato Head with
Or it could be Bullwinkle Moose without his antlers.
Right?
with alien hands.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Long, thin fingers that curled across the brick wall or something like that.
Well,
how it was described.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people asking, why is it called the Dover Demon? This one's really simple. This is because it was discovered or seen originally in Dover, Massachusetts.
I'll be danged.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not that far from Annie.
Oh, really? Massachusetts is far from Annie.
It's not like you're driving to Texas or anything.
Well, it took us 12 hours to get from here to Maine.
Wow.
It took us almost that long to get from here to Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This particular demon was spotted in, I don't even want to call it a demon because it was a creature that was seen that terrified a bunch of teenagers back in April of 1977. Now, it's interesting that, they came up with it. Now, there's tons of other information Even going back to here right now, where we can say that in 2001, a book came out talking more about this little thing and bringing in uh, words like chupacabra or Roswell aliens or bat-eared goblins. I had to look at that one because I wrote that one down. I knew I would never remember that one. Um, bat-eared goblins, really?
Are
You mean
we
like Bat Boy?
Right?
with fat ears?
With bat ears. I had never heard of a bat-eared goblin, which actually began to get me to bring up images.
Yes, please do.
When I did that, the very first image that came up was my precious.
Yeah, really. Really, we
Really?
can do that too.
Yeah. The next one that came up, a few people might recognize this one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're
Okay. So we might not do so well with the search. Well,
That was World of Warcraft, if anybody didn't know.
exactly.
Oh, I didn't know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But later, yeah, there was some images that came up that, well, I've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen from a pretty reliable, well, I would say a fairly reliable source, the History Channel.
Ah, yeah.
And this is what they came up with. Now, this is almost fitting the description of this Dover demon.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with it is the height.
Yeah, the height.
Yeah. So while we look at it and we say, well, it's got humanistic features,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I know a few people who have ears that big. Um,
Yeah.
Actually, if take away the ears and besides looking like an alien, which they actually do, is a praying mantis.
hmm,
Maybe it was a giant praying mantis.
Maybe.
it's a
Or maybe
possibility.
it was magic mushrooms.
Pass the mushrooms. Yeah, man. We need some shrooms for this. Well, this is one of those things that we go through and we have to wonder, what are we actually looking at? The problem with certain sightings, especially in the crypto field, is that we don't always get a solid picture.
Mhm.
Now, I don't mean a picture like, somebody drew it. Hey, look what I drew. Mm-mm. I mean an actual photograph, they would say, this is somewhat solid proof, solid evidence. And then you could say, yeah, okay, I agree with that. But
Yeah, well, the guy was driving. Nobody else saw it but him the first time. So,
yeah,
and
well,
then the second night somebody saw it.
right. And then years later, we're not hearing much about it, except for it still seems to somehow terrorize the people in the area.
Mm.
I don't get
Uh, somebody been playing with the wacky weed too much?
it. Yeah, well, this was, let's see, 70s. Yeah, they probably.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, who knows? I mean, this is going to be forever one of those mysteries that I had to throw it in there because crypto selfies. Yeah, okay, I like that one. But there is the other one, the Bray Road werewolf. You
Werewolf?
remember talking about that one?
A while back, yeah.
Yeah. Now this one has gone all the way to the extent of the police and a police car being attacked by this particular creature.
Do they have evidence of it though?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
fingerprints or hair, DNA.
The damage to the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes, they had more than enough evidence of it. So the Brave World Werewolf to this day has been put back and forth to being some cryptid creature, whereas others say it could actually be Bigfoot.
Um,
Mm.
I was reading today and I thought this was kind of interesting. I saw something on Facebook. Is when they were doing Star Wars,
Mhm.
the guy who played Chewbacca,
Mm-hmm.
I know, was he 7 foot tall or something in real life? They told him, like, between shoots, don't go wandering off in the woods because somebody might mistake you for Bigfoot and shoot you.
Yep, yep,
Oh yeah.
yep. And now today you get people walking around as a Wookiee, and oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's take us to new heights.
Really?
I
All
love
right.
to get to new heights.
Right?
Well, one that could be just imagine yourself loading up on this bad boy and flying away. Where are we flying to? It's wherever you booked it to. But the problem is, after it leaves the ground, where are you next?
Wherever your destination is.
What if you never make it to your destination?
Hmm.
Even better, what if they never even find the plane, evidence of anyone that was on the plane or anything like that?
Interesting.
Well, this actually has happened more than once. Let's look at Malaysian Air. Remember that entire
That
airline?
was not that long ago
No,
either.
that wasn't that long ago. Went missing. They looked in the water, never found the people. They've looked for wreckage. And the people have never yet surfaced, so to say.
Yeah,
Weird.
the thing is, I watched too much National. Was it Smithsonian the air disasters?
Right.
I watched that too much. So, but that TV show Manifest.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting one because that brings up a particular flight that has controversy around it. That to this day, people are saying it's not real. All the way to Snopes, even saying it's
Yeah,
not
I
real.
saw that. Fact checkers, Snopes. But
Yeah.
do you believe fact checkers and Snopes?
Sometimes I think what we get in there is the people who basically say no, no, no. But let's take a look at this. In 1955,
Mm-hmm.
an airplane which actually is Pan Am Pan Am Flight 914, upon taking off, just disappears.
How
Now
did
this
it
is
disappear?
Well, that is one good question. That's the
It
one of
didn't make it to
multiple.
where it was going.
It was only going from New York to Florida.
Takes about maybe 2 hours.
Okay, roughly.
And some change. So,
But get
Yeah.
this. In I think it's Argentina. Let me double check to make sure. I think it's Argentina. I'm not getting my. I had that marked here, and I lost it when I switched pages.
wait, let's see.
Well, they say 37 years ago later, after the plane took off, It lands in, I want to say, Argentina. As the, yeah, Venezuela. There it is, Venezuela. It lands in Venezuela. Now, it just mysteriously appears. It's not on the radar. It just mysteriously appears, and the flight tower people see this, and the plane comes in for a landing. They obviously see this isn't your standard plane. This is an older model plane. It's got propelled engines, and so, yeah, this is obviously a very old plane. That wasn't the part that freaked people out.
Right.
What freaked people out as they, flight crews down on the flight line, moving the plane into position, doing what they have to do, and even they're at a loss. But now they're looking at people who are looking out the window in antique clothes of a very long period back.
Wow.
Yeah. So as we look at this, we say, well, what? Okay, maybe this is a hoax. This can't be real. Well, Snopes and many others did bring this up as a hoax.
How is it a
Okay,
hoax?
there will. I don't know, but the pilot was supposed to have thrown a calendar out the window.
He drops it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they snatched it up, but they're not saying what was on it, what year or anything.
It specified that it was rather old. It was the only piece of evidence out of this whole event. The pilot panics, turns the plane around, and flies away. The plane disappears once again.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, like Annie asked, what happened to all the people?
well, that's
They
a great.
stayed on board?
They're still on board.
They were saying they were looking out the window terrified.
Yeah, but
I
they
guess
don't-
so I don't know whether they're terrified exactly what, except seeing all this like newfangled stuff.
Yeah.
Then
a whole
from
new era of stuff.
yeah,
For them, how much time has passed? Obviously, 37 years has not passed. But the idea is something that Annie and I toyed with in the past of discussing. And the idea is that this plane accidentally flew through a wormhole.
Could possibly been.
Since wormholes are really not,
they're not cool.
well, they're not even understandable. But from our NASA rocket scientists, they are real. And so,
Have you ever heard lately, besides that one plane we were discussing prior, anything else go missing in the Bermuda Triangle lately?
oh, yes, that's one of the conversations of tonight, too. Let's take a more famous disappearance flight. Very famous.
Amelia Earhart.
Bingo. How come the plane was never discovered? No wreckage, nothing. The only thing that they've ever found that they tried to conclude might have been her was on a particular island that's not far off from the Bermuda Islands. They found an old woman's shoe and some other things, but even a skeleton, which they said had European descent to it. But nothing confirmed on her, the discovery of her plane, nothing. Her and her co-pilot just vanished.
One may never know.
No, Evie, they never found the plane.
Mm-hmm.
They assumed they found the plane, but it was never
Right.
confirmed.
Right.
Gotcha.
Now, one of the things is if we go through history and we look at a lot of mysterious disappearances that create a big enough stir, eventually you do find groups that come together that try their best to debunk it, or not necessarily debunk it, but put a silent I would say a silencer on it to
Mhm.
an extent, and meaning that they're just doing what they can to get the people to stop.
Hounding them,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. So that's what you end up getting with all that. You end up getting this amazing turnout, and then like a Malaysian Air flight that disappeared. Oh, we've got the black box.
How'd you
How
get the
many?
black box?
But no plane wreckage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense, but if they say, "Oh, this is what we got," people just settle with it, and they say,
Right.
"Okay, that works. Yeah, okay." So, okay, let's talk about another famous disappearance. How about this one? The mysterious disappearance of Flight 19. Do you remember this one?
Yep,
Mm.
that's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. Now
Not
this,
one, but 6 planes.
yes. And these were little fighter planes during the time. Now this
Oh,
was
yeah.
this was in 1945. So, I mean, the people got, they even had a picture of most of the pilots all together. But they are, the group of planes are known as Flight 19. And
Right.
they were scheduled to tackle a 3-hour exercise known as navigation problem number one. Trying to say the words. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Um,
Very
their
much so.
triangular flight plan called for them to head east from the Florida coast and conduct bombing runs at a place called Hens and Chickens Shoals. They would then turn north and proceed over Grand Bahama Island before changing course a third time and flying southwest back to base. The problem is only one plane returned.
Where's the rest of them?
Good question.
Another wormhole.
No, actually, these were considered to be victims of the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh. Where
Yeah,
everything disappears.
exactly. The mysterious, one of the most mysterious disappearances, and to this day, they still have yet to find any wreckage from the planes or anything to say what happened.
Hmm.
Now, these are a few that we put in there for you to hear, and you might recognize them, and you might say, "Yeah, okay, I recognize those," but they're not. I just want that known. They are not the only planes to have disappeared in history.
There's lots of them.
Hmm. And we come to a point where we go right back to what happened. Where did they disappear to?
That would be kind of interesting to have an expedition, like going right to the triangle.
I would love to go to the Triangle, but now that I know a lot more about the Triangle, the only thing I would understand that I could say, yeah, okay, that makes sense, is the idea of the methane pockets of gas that come up through the water and stuff that are supposed to be pretty strong to be able to pull boats down or to knock planes out of the air.
Right.
No,
So, do
that
you think like that methane stuff affects them and then they crash?
well, it's a possibility. The problem with that possibility or probability is that, well, we end up going through the point of what happened and how come we can't find wreckage,
Right.
right?
Right.
This,
Because if we could find wreckage, we could find the plane and figure out what plane or what boat, whatever it was.
right.
Well, they found the Titanic, correct? Why
Yes.
can't they just do something like that? The same thing, you know, the
Well,
diving bells or whatever they want to call them, and try to find them. Have they ever really tried? Do you
yes,
know?
yes, yes. There's a I forgot what the name of the ship is that is scanning the surface of the water along the path of Amelia Earhart's journey, and yet to this day they have yet to find anything. And I mean they've scoured quite a bit, and it's all done through radar. So yes, they've got divers doing what they can for certain other sections of uh, the waters and so forth. And I mean, yeah, you got a lot of probabilities and possibilities, but
No, like with Amelia Earhart, that was when in the 40s. That was the 40s, wasn't it? Or was
yeah,
that the 30s?
I think that was 40s.
Okay, they didn't have the technology that we have now. I don't know if they had the radar. Do they have radar? Yeah, radar back then. Maybe she got blown off course by turbulence or a storm. She could have been hundreds and hundreds of miles off course.
Yeah, yeah, she could have. There's a lot of possibilities as to where she could have been. We know what was it? Certain flights, their mechanical guidance and radars and stuff have not matched up where they thought they were, and by the time they can see where they are, oh no, it's too late, right into a
Yeah.
side of a mountain. You know, this has happened more than once in history too, but you
What
know,
about like a magnetic field?
well,
That
you
would
know,
really play havoc with the instrumentation.
it would, and you're right. It is one of those situations where, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's a possibility. I'm looking at other possibilities that could be something as simple as, uh, gosh, people who just totally misunderstand the the idea of how something like that can happen. Simple mechanical failures or what have you. And
Could
as
be
we,
even simple as running out of gas.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Now, the question that some would say is, well, what about the people radio? I mean, Evie put that in comments earlier. Where is it? And she put radio dead zones. Radio dead zones are known to happen as well. But let's go back to World War II for a second, or better yet, let's do this. Let's take a. Hey, hey, hey! Don't be doing that. Let's take a musical break.
Yay.
By one of our indie artists, and just I'm going to be typing this in, but I'm putting it in verbally as well. All artists that we do play, including their videos, have been given us express written permission to use their music and play their music, even all the way to the extent of videos. And so I want to put that out there. Now, this particular song that I'm going to play is an award-winning song from a UK songwriting contest. The artist is Dennis. Well, the lyrics are written by Dennis Higgins, and the vocals is by Ian Jackson, who does the music and the vocals in here. So it's a very, very amazing song, and it actually pays tribute to, well, some of the hardest working people out there today. So I want to make sure we give that our wonderful tribute to them as well. So we're going to take this quick musical break. We'll come back with more paranormal right after this.
Last night, another hero died. I didn't know her name. In their protective clothing, most nurses look the same. I wish that I could thank her, but now it's far too late. She's nursed her final patient and passed through heaven's gate. Last night, another hero died. I didn't know his name, but just like other doctors, he mustn't die in vain. There are so many heroes who've answered to the call, so many caring people, it's hard to list them all. They say that they're not heroes, but we know otherwise. They're not only heroes, they're angels in disguise. They say that they're not heroes, but we know otherwise. They're not only heroes, they're angels in disguise. Last night, another hero died. The list goes on and on. One day, they were there helping. The next day, they were gone. Let's not forget those heroes. Remember them with pride. They were there to help us. They stood there by our side. They say that they're not heroes, but we know otherwise. They're not only heroes, they're angels in disguise. They say that they're not heroes, but we know otherwise. They're not only heroes, they're angels in disguise. Another hero will be there whenever there's a need. They come from every walk of life. They're not a special breed. They say that they're not heroes, but we know otherwise. They're not only heroes, they're angels in disguise. They say that they're not heroes, but we know otherwise. They're not only heroes, they're angels in disguise. They say that they're not heroes, but we know otherwise.
So yeah, There you go.
That is lovely.
Very good song, award-winning song, and totally worth it. So we want to give our special tributes out to them, like Ian Jackson, who was the vocals there on that. And I have to say, we do technically have a hero amongst us. Did you know that?
We do.
Oh, you thought I forgot about your career before Walmart.
I thought you wouldn't remember.
Oh, come on. So Ms. Pam actually worked in the healthcare industry, and was, I would say, I would call her a hero for what she did. Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't
And
They were
realize.
special people.
Yes.
And thank you, Pam.
And for those who don't know, Miss Renee used to be an emergency medical technician. So she was one of the people in an ambulance that drivers and saved lives too. So she's another one we could thank. So if you guys ever see her around or know how to message her, just send her notice and say thank you. Because a lot of these people, they don't get the respect or the what do you call it? The
Kudos.
gratitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't get the gratitude they deserve. Also, I did forget to do this in the beginning because we did play the commercial, but I need to put this up again for everyone.
Uh-oh.
Well, no. I mean, it's not a bad thing. For those who don't know, TMV Cafe has its own Patreon page. And we're giving opportunities for everyone out there to reach out, support us, help keep shows going. And oh, hey, that went bigger than I wanted it to go. And with different support levels, you can get a lot of different things. But currently, we're just saying if you're a $10 a month supporter, we're definitely going to give you shout outs. And like Derek Carr is one of our supporters that we're going to throw a shout out to is this week's Patreon. And we have more that are coming. But come on, jump in, folks. Tell others to do the same because we're going to have some giveaways coming up very soon that you're going to want, including something that a lot of people said they didn't know I could do.
No, really.
What is it that I can do that everybody says, oh, I didn't know you could do that?
You
can
crochet. You
No.
paint.
Bingo. Painting.
Paint.
Now, you can't see it too much, but this painting here I just finished yesterday, and it's a similar version to this one. It's almost identical. This one was
It's
originally
smaller
painted
version.
by my grandmother. And so I did a smaller version of it to see if I could do it. And there's no tracing whatsoever. It's all hand painted just that way. So
And as I said, that's something else I'm going to steal when I get down there and break into your house.
you are not taking grandma's painting. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to take your grandpa's painting.
Grandmother. It's the grandmother.
We'll take your paintings.
We're going to just take your paintings.
Oh.
And your
Okay.
lamps.
Well, if you guys participate and join our Patreon page,
I love that.
this is one of the pictures that will be up for the giveaway.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Isn't that lovely? I love that water.
I had it right here too. What did I do with it? Oh, they're on the craft table. Okay. So this one and this one are the two that we're going to give away, and I will personally autograph them. So
Cool.
make sure you go to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/TMV Cafe Radio, and which you can see right up here at the top. And get ready, because as soon as we can put everything in place, we're going to start the contest. Oh, did I mention one other thing?
What?
Sure, it's not quite yet, but there are one or two more copies that still linger, not necessarily in for sales,
Uh-huh.
but in my possession,
Ooh.
that could be signed as gifts, part of the giveaways too.
I think I got
So
that one.
I also have other books by other authors that are already autographed, ready to go. So we've got some wonderful giveaways coming up, and we need you guys to go to that Patreon page and get ready, because these are opportunities you don't want to miss.
No, that's a very good book, though.
Yes. I had somebody review this. I don't remember who that was. Yeah. Oh, she didn't say nothing. Okay.
Wasn't me, but I think I read it, though.
I know you did, because you were one of the reviewers.
No, not me. I wouldn't do a thing like that.
No, okay. But yeah, no, I mean, that's how they are. So patreon.com/TMV Cafe Radio. Really simple. We made it easy as we could for you.
Woo-hoo. Easy.
Yeah. Now, if life was so difficult, we would have to be like Pam's cats, who could sleep right next to each other on a little stand and be happier than everything.
The yellow one's Monkey, and this one's Daisy.
Yep. I saw him get up there earlier, and they kind of sniffed each other, and then that was it.
Yep.
Okay, move over. My turn.
Mm-hmm. They
All
take
right.
turns to sleep in there.
Yeah. All right. Theories. Who wants to go first? What are your theories on these plane disappearances?
My theory is that it might be wormholes, and they're not coming back through them.
Well, it's good.
And I'd love to know where they end up if that's the case.
Yeah, that is
I'm
one
like
of the
thinking Jules Verne and ending up in some cave or someplace where there's dinosaurs or something,
Right.
the
go
center
back
of the
in
earth.
time.
Yeah.
Could
Kinda
go
like,
into the future. Who knows?
like the Langolier book. They jet off and they go to a different dimension.
Why did you
that
even
was a
go?
good. That was a.
That was not a good book. That was a horrible book. Well,
That was a
okay,
horrible movie, except for the guy that was the pilot.
yeah, okay, it wasn't as bad as Tommy Knockers, but still, it's
Oh,
up
Tommy
there.
Knockers was good.
I read the whole thing. When I got to the end, I was like, why did I just waste all this time reading this?
Well, that's what comes to my mind when the planes and boats disappear is they go into a different, like
Dimension
a
or something.
wormhole.
Yeah, the Philadelphia experiment. While government refuses to say they actually did some kind of experiment like this, and all the events that we hear from the movie or stories from that point are bogus, you have to go back to the question of, first, is it possible? Then, if it is possible, how plausible is it?
Yeah.
See, that's where things begin to change entirely, because
Right.
the plausibility factor opens doors to, more issues, more events, and yeah. I don't know. I could go with so many stories, so many potential places that would take us to one side, but it doesn't quite give an answer. And
I guess it's up to interpretation,
right.
your personal interpretation.
Yeah. And that's the problem with a lot of these disappearances. We can only offer an opinion or an interpretation based on certain events. But let's use an event that's not an interpret. Well, let me see. How can I put this? It's not necessarily an interpretation. It's more of what was the way they wanted to record it. So the Warren Commission, most famously known for investigating the assassination of JFK. Why did I just get an eye roll?
I didn't do it.
I know, I saw her do it.
I'm not gonna make a comment, okay?
Okay, but here's the thing: the Warren Commission, hold on. The Warren Commission offered one thing, but what if there's a story or a more in-depth answer to all of this? Okay. Now, for those who forget, I did get the opportunity to interview a gentleman by the name of Colin McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
During the 50th anniversary of the assassination of JFK, this man is a detective and he came to solve the case.
Mm-hmm.
Something he did that the Warren Commission did not do is he interviewed more prominent people who were near the event instead of people who just willy-dilly came forward and said, "Oh my God, I saw
So and so."
Yeah. Now, there is another thing. The Warren Commission only released, I think, 1 or 2 videos.
Mm-hmm.
They kept the rest, never to be seen by the public again.
Really?
Yeah.
Hence the eye roll.
Yeah. But
I saw a couple of things on that.
well, if you want one that'll blow you away, this one. Here's the trailer to it.
Dallas, Texas, the world's most famous crime scene. President John F. Kennedy is shot and rushed to hospital, and the mystery of who killed JFK begins. 50 years later, senior police investigator Colin McLaren has finally arrived at the scene he has been studying for years to conduct a new forensic analysis.
This is the technique of many crime scenes, but this is the most unsolved of all crime scenes in the world. Then I read this, the faultless ballistics document. I could see the argument that Howard Donahue announced as being absolutely solid.
Responding to the situation here today, R-15, he pushed off the safety and fell over backwards and impulsively pulling the trigger.
My father knew that you don't get one shot that goes straight through and one shot that blows right up from the same gun and the same ammo.
The old Meccano round, it's a 4-metal jacket round designed to pass through a soldier's body. This bullet is a .223 hollow point round for the AR-15 assault rifle. It's designed to explode upon impact. It's much smaller and more devastating.
Based on the trajectory work that Howard did, Howard couldn't understand how the Warren Commission missed this, a trajectory that didn't go from right to left, but from left to right. The shot had to have come from the AR-15.
The ballistic evidence indicates that the second shooter was positioned in the Secret Service follow-up car, right behind the presidential limousine.
11 different witnesses all state that the Secret Service agent George Hickey had a hold of the AR-15 sniper weapon in the back of the follow-up car.
Hickey stood up to see where the shots were coming from, and he fell backwards.
Shot. Right into his head.
Perhaps it's time to close the door behind history's most infamous and debated crime scene, a definitive answer to the lies and omissions that have prevailed for the last 50 years.
JFK, The Smoking Gun, a groundbreaking event documentary.
Which is available today. You can actually get it and check it out. And I will say, folks, for those who have not watched it, you got to watch it from beginning to end. Because as you saw, they mentioned certain things in there. and it gets more and more intense. And the people that he interviewed, Colin McLaren interviewed, were actual cops, first responders, people that were not interviewed by the Warren Commission, which was interesting. Or if they were interviewed, their information was deemed not important, so it was thrown out. Literally does an investigation from a cop standpoint to reveal the answers that he did get. And in all honesty, to me, what he reveals, case closed.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I need a piece of paper. Hold on. Sorry about that. What's his name?
Colin McLaren.
MAC or MC?
MCC. Let me see if I can get the full spot. MCL. I'm sorry. MCL. AREN. And you'll find out when you do your research on him that he is not a little time detective. He brought down the mafia heads in Australia.
The what? I'm sorry.
The mafia leaders. He brought them down. He took them down. So this guy is a very well-known detective. He's got some very good pull behind him, and just crazy, amazing information. So, but going back to what we're seeing here is, even with this, we've got one commission who uses, the Warren Commission, who uses whatever evidence they want to use. Even stuff that they said, oh, it's not relevant, and they throw that out. But it really would have been relevant. We get that with the same kind of investigations into mysterious disappearances of airplanes today. We're not getting solid evidence. We're actually getting situations that leave us back in question. And
you want to need to know bases, and you don't need to know.
Right.
I think Malaysian
pieces.
Yeah, I think Malaysian Air would be one of those ones that specifically fits that need to know basis. If I really have to weigh it out, not throwing this as a conspiracy theory, but I just want to put it in that, is 9/11 could be one of those situations.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is not because, I want to throw a conspiracy in there, but we've heard before that a plane hit the Pentagon. There's photo evidence that, you see the damage to the Pentagon, but no plane.
Yeah.
There is, or was, I've yet to find it again. There was CCTV video of just the Pentagon blowing up. No plane, just the explosion.
Right.
And, which made you think that's the bomb. That's not a plane. That's an actual bomb.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. We're going to have, for the rest of our lives, we're going to have questions that won't be answered. And it's because, like what Annie said, it's a need to know basis.
Yep.
Or what you can't handle the truth.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. We just definitely need a Nicholson to come out and say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that.
They're going to just start hiring actors to give us the answers.
Right.
Truth, you can't.
Samuel L. Jackson in there for me.
Oh yeah. Well, you just want that little curse moment, don't you?
Oh yeah.
You can get Alexis with his voice, and you can do extra for the cursing.
Yeah, but I don't think I want that device cursing me out. I already turned off the damn lights. Oh God.
Yeah, I'd curse back at EW. Wouldn't like you.
Oh, I have one. I have a fun one for you to hear after, make you laugh. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, you got to understand that as investigators ourselves, we
Mm-hmm.
may not have the detective type investigations as they want us to have.
Right.
But in paranormal investigations, we use this whole different set of
Right.
ways to investigate.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing everything we can with what kind of evidence we can to say this is almost as concrete proof as we can give you, but it might be missing something,
Right.
or I need you to take a listen to it. Why do you think in a lot of these paranormal shows, they're not 100% sure what's heard on an EVP, so they say, well, this is what we think it is. What do you think? The only
Mhm.
problem is they tell you before they play it, and now that's the only thing you can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't even hear that. So
Yeah, I know. So, uh, this is where it says it. They put the words in. You're like, no, I
Yeah.
want to hear it without. Um, but there are some that are Class A EVPs, and
Mhm.
there's no doubting that. And for those who forget what an EVP is, that is an electronic voice phenomenon, which basically usually can be picked up with your recording devices. But when it gets to be really good, you can also hear it with your ear.
Yep.
And I've got to say, I have heard quite a few of those. Have you ever experienced any of those?
oh, we hear talking around here a lot. I mean, Tom's been in the basement when we were had those old big boxy computers.
Mhm.
Right.
He was playing something and it was late at night. I was asleep and said he heard clear as a bell. Look at him down there playing. It wasn't me.
Okay.
I was asleep.
Your friends were telling him to get off the computer.
Right.
Yes. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Yeah. You've been up too long. Yeah. It's interesting that what we could come across nowadays. Um, but man, I'll tell you what, when people send us in some of these videos, it blows me away.
Yeah.
Or pictures, it blows
Mhm.
me away because
Yep.
we're getting so much clearer evidence today than what we did years ago as it started.
Well, the technology is so much better. You can clean up the background and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm hoping that as we get to a point, if they give it over to people like us to do investigations into a disappearance, like a plane or something, and we begin to reveal some, pretty solid evidence
We
that
disappear ourselves.
yeah, right.
Right.
Oh, she found out the truth. Take her. Coffee and all.
Either that or they put you in the loony bin.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's a sad part too.
Yeah.
They really do. All right. So, folks, if you haven't noticed, we did get it back up for now. I stress for now
For now.
because YouTube is being very, very.
Sketchy.
Picky?
I'll go with icky. Um,
I didn't say icky, I said picky.
Picky is another good one.
Icky
Because
picky.
we did on last or this Monday, the Electric Wizard show came out, bringing you an old MTV style type show. So we
Right.
got music videos and stuff, and I started getting messages. Hey, I don't see your show. I don't see your show. So had you not caught it live, you couldn't see it. So after much review and trying to dig into it, we found out today they blocked it.
Oh.
And so we go through the fight. We did get it back up for now, and there's a chance that if they don't like what I say, they're going to try to take this entire YouTube channel down.
Mm,
So if they do, we'll start over.
right.
I'm not giving up. We are licensed and we got permission to play music, and we're going to continue to do so because that's what a radio station's all about.
Yes.
So, on that note, we are out of here, my friends. We'll see you next week with more paranormal. Thank you, Miss Pam. Thank you, Miss Annie.
Thank you.
Bye,
And
man.
guys,
Bye.
have a wonderful night.
Good night.